Ace of Spades here, welcome to Goblin-Inc. You've been watching footage of a build that has been just changed a couple of hours ago, and no one has really tested this because it's been changed right now. So what is the change? The change is that now the main Spirit Hall for Eagle says Storm Feathers. On top of that, every aspect now has been unified under the bracket or box of Storm Feathers. It used to be two different types, Spirit Feathers and Storm Feathers, meaning that the build would be inconsistent, multipliers wouldn't work for each or the other one. Now the glyph Jagged Plume works, every glyph, every aspect works for the build, and the main Spirit Hall works with everything else. So now the build finally is cohesive. The build, I think you already more or less understand, is a Soar build, and we're using Soar to cast all of those feathers. Let's go over the build and let's take a look at it. So we're casting Soar, and Soar is now our evade. This is blocking a lot of feathers for us. This item also makes our evade being Soar. There's a slight difference when we cast evade and when we cast Soar manually. Let's take a close look at the main Spirit Hall. It says that when you evade, you fling up 8 Storm Feathers. But the item says that evade is now Soar. It doesn't say that Soar is now your evade. So we are not technically evading, meaning that when we cast Soar manually, we are not getting the benefit from the main Spirit Hall casting 8 extra feathers. But that's okay, as we can still spam or evade quite a bit, and that's still worth a lot of damage for us. Now let's take a look more about what's in the build. We have 3 main aspects for this build. We have the Empowered Feathers. Lucky Hit, Eagle skill have a chance to spawn Storm Feathers. This means that when you cast an Eagle skill, you have more feathers will spawn. But the most important part of the aspect, and the key to make the build work, is that Storm Feathers, when you pick them up, reduce your mobility skill by 0.5 seconds. That is why I am recovering the cooldown of Soar so quickly. The next is the Coil of Falling Feathers. Moving with a mobility skill or evade spawns feathers. And feathers now drop from the sky, and they deal this additional 429 damage. Now this damage is based on the weapon damage, and as you can see now it's 0, because I don't have a weapon. This is important. You're gonna see later why the damage of the aspect being based on the weapon is important for us, and we benefit from that. The second thing is that casting the third aspect, casting a focus skill, which is Soar. Casting a focus skill recalls all nearby feathers dealing damage, and if there are no nearby feathers, we get 10 additional feathers. Again, more feathers, and feathers do more damage. Again, this aspect is scaling off our weapon damage. As you can see, now it's 0, and we go back up. The last and final big mechanic of the build is showing you this. This weapon, you might have wondered, is this weapon ever viable? Well, it does something really interesting for this build. If you take a look, Hunter is a mobility skill. Now, that means that whenever we pick up feathers, we reduce the cooldown of Hunter. Hunter is very important for Spiritborn in general. It is the best ultimate. It provides 2 key things. It provides max ferocity stacks, which is for us damage and attack speed. And the second thing it provides is a 100% damage multiplier to injured enemies. Last 8 seconds. It's very powerful. And on top of that, if you read the Wushen Nakpa, it says, casting an ultimate skill grants or amplifies its matching primary Spirit Hail bonus by 100%. So we are not matching, because we are not using the Seeker. We are getting granted a new Spirit Hall, and that is the Jagger main Spirit Hall. The Jagger main Spirit Hall is a lot of damage. Every 5th time we deal direct damage to an enemy with a Jagger skill, unleashes an additional strike dealing 15% of damage. This is good, as we now do a lot more damage, and we have access to a lot of interesting and strong Paragon board glyphs, and also passives such as Potent and Furnace now will work with this. So very good and very strong for us to run this weapon. I believe for now I'm gonna be using it. We'll see if it is best in slot. Now, Loyalty Mantle reduces the cooldown of our Soar by 60% and also grants 100% more bonus of our main Spirit Hole, which is Eagle. And in this case now, Eagle will have double the bonus, double the damage. It looks really strong. So we're benefiting quite a bit from this Loyalty Mantle, and I am playing that for that reason. That is the core of the build, and that is as far as I have gotten to the build, which is like really strong start, and it works, even with no upgrades, no enchant, etc. Let's talk about the issues of the build. The main issue is that I really want to buff my damage with unyielding hits. Unyielding hits works when you cast a gorilla skill. Now, if we take a look at my damage, look at this, 429. I cast a gorilla skill, 1.8 thousand. That's a lot of extra damage. That's 4 times damage multiplier, if not more, almost 5. So how do we activate this? Well, we need to cast a gorilla skill every 3 seconds. At first, I thought of using runes to cast, where is it? Stomp. Where is Stomp? I think it's here. Concussive Stomp. I thought about invoking the Spiritborn Concussive Stomp dealing damage, but this is not a cast and does not count for the unyielding hits aspect. So now I am left with trying to find a way to cast a gorilla skill every 3 seconds. It could be that I'll be casting a basic skill. It could be that we add the Rock Splitter and we cast it every 3 seconds, and that's it. Problem solved. I'm looking into other solutions, like running the Jachin Shell, but I do not like this solution very well, because, well, first of all, it chunks your HP down really hard. You lose a lot of damage because you lose armor, total armor. You lose an aspect slot. You need... See, this Soar Vortex, Soar Casting Vortex is important. If I do not have it here, I have to cast a Vortex with my rune, meaning that I lose an important rune slot that I can use for something else. So currently I think the Jachin Shell is probably gonna get benched, and I'm gonna stick to play with this and adding a basic skill, Rock Splitter, and casting it once every 3 seconds. Because this increases my damage by 6 times. So obviously, casting 1 Rock Splitter every 3 seconds is gonna be worth it. Let me guys know if you think you have a better way to cast a gorilla skill for this build. I will quickly do a rundown of my skill slots, and I'm not gonna show you my Paragon because I'm keeping it updated in the link down below. You can see every day I'm modifying and improving this build, and leave any comment if you think you can find something to improve. I will now run you through the things I have in this build and why I'm using them and what I have thought about them and if I think they're good. I am running Adaptive Stance. It increases core stats by 50%, and that's the main victory. Getting Eagle granting movement speed is nice. You cap move speed really easily. Of course, I'm running the Hunter. You already saw and understand why. I'm getting Resolution. Spiritual Attunement, I have no reason to use this. I wanted to run Intricacy. So as you can see, upon casting an ultimate skill, the last different potency, defensive, or focus skill is free and you can cast it 3 times. I thought I could maybe use it to cast Armored Hide, but it is kind of annoying to use, in my opinion. You have to remember that after you cast the Hunter, you need to cast Armored Hide, and then you have to cast it again after 3 seconds. I might as well just cast Rock Splitter, honestly, and that's gonna be easier for me, and I recover so many extra available points. I did not like that. I'm running Potent and Furnace, because Hunter is granting me the main Jagger Spirit Hole. I tried running Razor Wings, but casting manually this skill takes away from me casting Soar, so I did not enjoy that. I'm using Brilliance, more damage, based on my movement speed. Movement speed we are always capped. Acceleration is not needed, because, well, we could after an evade we deal, but it says Eagle skill. After you evade, your next Eagle skill deals more damage. Feathers, I do not believe they are Eagle skills. I think they are tagged as Eagle, but I'm not sure they're tagged as skills. So I'll have to test if that aspect actually works, and if it works after casting Soar. I'm using Resilient, increase maximum life for 10 seconds after casting a Gorilla skill. Like, it's so broken. Every 10 seconds, I cast a gorilla skill once and I have 15% life. I don't know what they're thinking. Now, Scourge. Scourge grants us Life Leech and increases damage against crowd control enemies. Now, you'd think it's good. Because this build is so quick at moving around, you are never where your Scourge is, and you never benefit from it. All it does is make your enemies run away, and I found it to be really annoying. So this will not be part of the build, and I'll be removing it for that reason. Counterattack. I like it. I like counterattack. I like the damage that you receive when you're close enemies. We're always close. Concussive Stomp. Now, Concussive Stomp gives you barrier, which is nice, because there are some benefits from having barrier in this build. We have a Paragon Legendary Node that increases our damage based on how much barrier we have. And we are trying to max our barrier with Bulwark as well. We'll see if this stays in the build. It's also like a better, you know, it's better than casting Rock Splitter. And honestly, this build does not have a lot of things it wants to run. Armored Hide would grant us the Resolve stacks. Unstoppable, which we do not need as we get Unstoppable with Soar, so that's not an issue. 1 point in 10% block, because 10% block is nice. We take Diminishment, damage reduction against vulnerable enemies. Apex, full points, it's damage against vulnerable enemies. Swift reduces the cooldown of Soar, but I do not think I need it. So, it doesn't look like I need it. So there's really no benefit in me running that. So I will not be using it anymore. It was reducing the cooldown of Soar, but it doesn't work with my evade, so I'll have to take that off. Ravager would add more direct damage and proc or Spirit Hall more easily, or Jagger main Spirit Hall, which you cannot see, but we have it because of the main weapon. So it's gonna fit now in the build, because we are taking out, as you can see, Scourge. Soar does not need to have ranks in it, because our damage is the Spirit Feathers. And we take Measured Soar for the Unstoppable, so now you see why we are always unstoppable. I take Vortex, and I take Measured Vortex. If you have Barrier, it also knocks down enemies, which I like. Here I do not take anything, so you have to put a little bit of points in Thunder Spike. But maybe, like I said, I think this is the play. I guess this could be the play. And removing, I guess, either Stomp or Armored Hide. Armored Hide cooldown is too long. I don't have any way right now to... If I could have it, it would be great. If I could find a way to spam it, it would be top tier. Maybe I'll take off Concussive Stomp. I don't know. 10-second cooldown. Guys, let me know what you think. And yeah, keep a look at the stream on Twitch. Or you can see the link down below. You can see where the tier crafting is going with this build. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video, and I'm looking forward to play this build on live. It's gonna be probably S tier or A plus at least. Being Spiritborn, it's probably gonna be S tier. See you on the next video.